What's up, YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter back, and we've got another $1,000 half-dollar hunt in front of us. Starting with box number 1, we picked this up from our local Fifth Third Bank. As you can see, we've got some shinies. I see some 2023 enders, but we have a lot of circulated enders as well, so I'm excited that we hopefully have a mostly circulated box. So with that, let's go ahead and jump in and see if we can find some silver, some mint air, some varieties, NIFCs, some proofs, or anything else odd or interesting in this box. So let's get to it. Well, as usual, I do want to get a couple of rolls open here on camera in case we get lucky early and find some silver. And it also gives us a chance to see what kind of box we probably have in front of us. There's a 2020. If you watched my last half-dollar hunt, you probably noticed that we found a whole lot of 2020s in that. So this may be a continuation of those boxes, because it did come from the same bank about a week apart. So who knows? Well, I am seeing a lot more new shiny stuff in here than I would like. There's a 2021, 2023, 2023, 2021. That is a lot of new coins. I'm hoping that changes as we get deeper in the box. Well, that didn't work. More of the same there. Looks like we're averaging probably 7 or so coins to about half a roll so far of brand new coins, or relatively brand new coins. There's another 2020. Now those 2020s, I'm pulling those aside. If you're new to the channel, those are called not intended for circulation coins, and these were coins that were made at the mint and sold in rolls to coin collectors. They were not generally released to the banking system. At least that was the intent. Now with COVID and stuff like that, I do think that the banking system did end up dumping a lot of those out there because of coin shortages and such. But for you new coin roll hunters out there, the NIFCs are kind of fun to find. I don't recommend hanging on to a lot of them because there's not a lot of value in them unless you're putting together entire runs. Then you can typically find people that'll pay a little bit of a premium for them. But I know when I first started coin roll hunting, there's another 2020, I kept every one I found, and next thing I knew, I had like $800 worth of various NIFCs sitting in tubes, and they slowly made their way back to the bank. But anyway, that's 5 rolls. It looks like they're pretty common, pretty standard looking rolls. I'll go back through and look at each and every coin for, again, DDOs, DDRs, no FGs, that sort of thing. And if I happen to find anything, I'll be sure to bring you in. Well, we just unwrapped the last 5 rolls of this box, and it's been a whole lot of clad, a whole lot of 2023s, and I know I didn't bring you in for really all of these except maybe one. It's probably about 19 or 20 2020 Philadelphias. So I had a box like this in one of my other videos. Maybe this is a sister box, came from the same place, but they're all really, really nice. But I'm going to go ahead and get through these. I didn't see any proofs or anything else interesting. If I happen to come across one, I'll bring you in for it. Other than that, we're going to bring you back in when we get into box number 2. Well, I wrapped up box number 1, and we got exactly 20 2020 Philadelphias in that box. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into box number 2. Well, let's get a couple of these rolls open and see if this box looks any different than box number 1. Again, picked up at the same bank, same time. And these drops have been just about every week, so they might be coming from the same little lot over there at Brinks. All probably rolled at the same time, so that was all 2023s in there. One kind of interesting one there. There's a 2024 Denver. Now, I did come across a couple of those in the last box, but I kind of just zoomed right past them because they're not NIFCs. There's no real special value there, but I hear from others that are around the country, they're seeing a lot more 2024s. And I think a couple of people have pinged me to say they're starting to see 2025s more regularly. But I still don't see that many 2024s. It's still this proliferation of 2023s. And there's a 2002 Denver NIFC. It was an ender, and I didn't see it until just a second ago. So first NIFC on the box number 2. It's another 2002 Denver. I know it's upside down, but it looks just like the last one. So there might be some other stuff in there that I'm missing, but we'll catch it on the second pass. And let's do roll number 5 here. And I'm not seeing anything else too special. So I'm going to go ahead, head off camera, and I'll bring you back in if we find something other than a 2002 or 2020. And just like that, we are already at the end of box number 2. We didn't find much. I didn't bring you in for most of it. Obviously, we got a couple of 2002s, a 2003, 2004, and a whole bunch of 2020s. Well, really only about 5. So not that many compared to box number 1. And I tell you what, I'm supposed to have a couple more boxes coming in Monday or Tuesday. I think I'm going to wait on this video and see if I can add those 2. And if they don't come in, then I'll go ahead and just wrap this video here. So stay tuned for just a second. There might be a box number 3 and box number 4. Well, I was able to go to the bank and pick up boxes number 3 and 4, and they're labeled that way on purpose because 3, for the most part, looks like it's going to be brand new coins, at least on the top half of the box. I see a lot of 2021s, a lot of 2023s, and not a whole lot of circulated enders. Looking on the bottom half of the box, it looks like it may be a little bit better. And box number 4 looks like a decent mix of circulated and new coins. So I'm going to save that for last. And with that said, let's get the camera set up and let's get into these half dollars. All right, roll number 1, box number 3. I got a feeling these first couple of rolls are going to be nasty. Lots of new shiny stuff. If it's looking that way in the first 3 rolls, then I will just skip ahead and just move forward and bring you guys in when I happen to find something. But lots of 2021s in this roll. Just a quick look. No silver, of course. We would see that by the edges. I actually expected there to be a lot more new coins in there than there were. That's what I was expecting to find. This is a whole roll of, well, no, it's a mix. 21s and 23s. Looks like mainly Philadelphia. There's 21s. Unfortunately, none of those are going to be NIFCs, and even if they were, not a whole lot of value. Here's roll number 3. And as expected, we're going to get a whole lot of that. I'm not even going to dig through there. I'll do one more. We may be jumping into the bottom half of this box very, very quickly. But I will open each and every one of these rolls and check them because you never know what could be buried inside. But for now, it looks like a lot of brand new coins. So really quickly, top half of the box, I had 4 rolls that I still haven't gone through that actually had a significant number of circulated half dollars in them. Every other roll was either complete rolls of 21s and 23s, or believe it or not, rolls that had 19 brand new coins in them and 1 circulated coin. So I'm going to go ahead and hunt these 4 rolls. I'm not real positive we're going to find much. I just wanted to let you know that I ripped through that top half of the box in about 3.5 or 4 minutes. It did not take that long, maybe a little bit longer, but not much to look at. And then we'll get into the second half. So I'm getting through rolls number 31 through 40 if I've done the math right, and I'm bringing you in for a coin that I have never found before on the channel, and that is the 1972 Philly double die obverse FS101. Now oftentimes on that Denver we are looking for the no FG. That's the missing initials down there in the crook of the leg of the eagle. The FS101 is a double die obverse, and I have seen others that have found it, and it is pretty weak. There are strong examples of it. This one I've got 2 main markers and a die scratch up here I'll show you guys. But again, I would love to know from you guys in the comments if I'm right, If I'm wrong, I'm happy to admit that as well, and it may take me a second to get this set up so you guys can see what I'm looking at here in the scope, and I'm zoomed way, way, way in, and I may have to come out a little bit and turn off some lights to help see it, but there, right there, it helps. You can see we've got a double serif here on the bottom of the T, and over here we've got a little bit of a splitting and a double serif there in the R, and maybe even down here in the base. Now, we do have, like, I don't know if this is a lot of grease in the die or if it's kind of a weak strike, but there are striations in the coin, and you can see a little bit of a split here in the U. It's not super pronounced. And I just think in general, the lettering looks a little thick. Now the other place that you can see this little splitting is, it's much better actually over here on the G for in God. You can see we've got a split down here on the bottom of the serif on the G, as well as a little split up here on the top of the G. So to me, that's enough markers to say this is a double die obverse. There's a good look at those die scratches, or maybe that's a little grease in the die. But this, I've seen a lot of 1972s that suffer from this. And the last thing I'll show you is up here, I think it's next to the T. We've got a big old die scratch. I think that's what we call it, through the coin. So that's not post-mint damage there, because that's actually raised metal on the coin. So pretty cool find in my opinion, assuming I'm right. I would love to know your opinions in the comments down below. Let me turn my overhead light back on. This is pretty cool. I did look on PCGS, and I'll throw it up on the screen, but I want to say in a extra fine 40, these things are going for about 40 bucks if they're graded. I could be wrong. I might be misquoting that, but just check the image that I throw on the screen. And this is definitely something we'll pull aside. I didn't bring in earlier, but we did come across a couple of NIFCs. Nothing too great. We'll call them out here just in case we don't need to come back and cover them again. We did get a 2008 Philly and one 2019 Philly. And I know you guys are sick of seeing me find NIFCs, so I don't want to make a big deal out of it. So with that, I'm going to keep on hunting. We got to get through the rest of these rolls. We got 10 left in the box, and we'll get on to box number 4. Well, that's going to do it for box number 3, and the NIFC train continues. We got a 2008, 13, 14, 18, 19, and 20 in box number 3, but the one saving grace is what I believe to be the 1972 double die obverse, which I covered in a previous clip. So I am really excited about hanging on to this one. The rest of these I'll hang on to till the end of the video, but odds are every single one of those will go back to the bank. With that, let's go ahead and jump in to box number 4 and the end of this video. So we're getting through rolls, what is this, 11 through 15. On roll 13, I've come across a 1971 Denver, and you guys know what that means if I'm bringing you in. We've got ourselves a double die obverse, and let me see if I can make it pop for you here on camera. Sometimes it's hard to do with the lighting that I have. But right here, you can see the double serifing in the U. It's not a very strong one, because typically you would see much stronger serifs in some of the other letters, like a really strong double S. But here we have just a very light doubling in the base of the T. A little bit here in the tops of the T. Where else? You can see a little bit of this double serifing here in the R. And I want to say over here on the I as well. Actually on this one, no, you can't. It's not in the in God part. It's only over there. And then in Liberty, this is pretty common to see as well, as a little bit of doubling here in the T. And the lighting there is not great. Let me see if I can get that to focus in. Yeah, it's a little tougher to see, but there's a little bit of double serifs there in that T. I don't recall seeing anything in the Y. But this is a double die. I think it's the FS 101. If not, I'll correct that with some text over the video here. But definitely have a double die obverse. Well, box number 4 has not been that great either. We're down to the last 5 rolls. Figured I'd bring you in here real quick. We did find a couple of 2003s. We found a 2006, a 2015, and a handful of 2020s. And of course, I did bring in for that 1971 DDO, 1971D. I'm going to just slide these out of the way and put them back up there. Get the camera up, and we'll open these last 5 together. All right, well, this has been, unfortunately, kind of a lackluster half-dollar hunt. Maybe these last 5 rolls could turn it around for us, but I'm not too terribly hopeful. All of our rolls have kind of looked like that last one did. We've had a good mix of 21s, 23s, and circulated coins. And I did actually come across a couple of 2025s in this hunt, but I've just rewrapped them as we have gone through them. Because there's no intrinsic value there. They're not NIFCs, and I've actually kept a couple of really nice ones set aside that I have found in the past. So no need to hang on to them. But as you can see, typically 7, 8, 9 roll or coins, and each roll end up being something kind of brand new. Mostly 2023. Let's see here, 2 rolls left. And I was hoping by extending this to 4 boxes, we might get lucky and get a little bit of silver. I will say there's a 2020 right there. I will say I do enjoy finding the varieties. Yeah, I think we'll call them varieties there. The 1971 DDO, and then we had that 1972 DDO, and I think it was box number 3. I do enjoy finding those. Unfortunately, none of them were of great quality, right? None of them are going to grade real well if I were to send them in, but they're the kind of coin that I like to find and I like to hang on to and add to the collection. So I'm going to quickly get through these. I see a couple of 2020s, and I'll do a quick wrap up of what we got through here today. I'm not going to show every coin because honestly, some of them I've wrapped back up and already sent back to the bank in boxes 1 and 2. So let me get through these. We'll be right back. Well, that's going to do it for box number 4, and along the way, in those last 5 rolls, I did find another 2020, but outside of that, nothing new, so this is all the same stuff that we just went over. Now, I don't recall the order of the boxes on this since I've kind of lost track over the time it's taken me to film this, but these are all 2020s that we got out of 1 box. Out of another, we got a bunch of other NIFCs, 2002s, 3s, 4s, and a handful more 2020s. And then we had a box with a bunch more NIFCs and that other double die obverse that I talked about earlier in the video. So if you missed that, I did do a little bit of a deep dive under the scope so you could see what I see for this 1972 double die obverse. So if you skip to the end and you want to learn more about that, make sure you do back up to the video and find it. So really just 2 keepers for me out of this. 72 DDO, 71D DDO. The rest of the NIFCs will head on back to the bank, and maybe one of you can find them in one of your hunts. So with that, we'll call it a video here. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop on down below, click that like button, and leave me a comment. If you're new to the channel and you like coin roll hunts, or you've got some of my other videos and haven't yet clicked on that subscribe button, make sure you take a moment to do that now. It is free to do. And while you're down there, click on that little bell and select all so you get notified each and every time I do release a new video. I'd really appreciate it. Special shout out to my channel members. Thank you guys for supporting the channel each and every month. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm going to be getting these back to the bank and hopefully picking up some more coins for our next video. And I do think we'll focus on some other denominations. So we may go back to a big mixed coin roll hunt, or if I can happen to find some boxes of nickels or quarters or even dimes, maybe we'll hit that next. So stay tuned. I'm not sure what we're going to do. So it'll be a surprise for me and you. So with that, take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.